Is this player exactly what the Red Sox have been missing lately? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and last night the Red Sox played an incredible game against the Tampa Bay Rays, walking it off in the 12th inning. Now, this game to me really felt like a big game in the course of the Red Sox 162-game season. I think what this game did was really help shift the Red Sox momentum, and the hero of last night's game ended up being Romy Gonzalez, who I'm starting to think might be exactly what the Red Sox have been looking for and the newest spark plug on this team. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break Romy down a little bit. We're going to talk about what he's been able to do in Boston, what he could do in the future for this team, and why he could be the Red Sox newest spark plug. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Don't forget, these episodes always available in podcast form, whether you want to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can either click the link in the descriptions down below, or you can head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Sea Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. This sort of concept of a spark plug really isn't anything new to the Boston Red Sox. Over the last couple of years, they've had players who, under pretty much any other circumstance, would probably be considered very replacement level players, step up in a big way and help change the trajectory of this team. Now, obviously, over the last couple of years, that hasn't worked out too well, but they've still been exciting players here. Pablo Reyes was that guy last year. Christian Arroyo really contributed to this team in 22. In 2021, you had Jose Iglesias in the back half of the season and Kike Hernandez in the postseason. The Red Sox have seen this not only over the last couple of years, but for a while now. It's a pretty common thing amongst MLB teams, and this year, I'm starting to believe it might be Romy Gonzalez. Now, coming over to the Red Sox on paper, Romy really isn't anything special. In small parts of 3 seasons in MLB, he had a .222 average with a .240 on base percentage and a .361 slug, good for just a 65 OPS plus, about 35% less productive at the plate than the average player in the game. Still, there was some intrigue as to what he could be for the Red Sox when he got called up in the absence of Trevor Story. This was mainly due to the fact that he could pretty solidly play a ton of different positions, which gave the Red Sox a bit more versatility off the bench than they were previously accustomed to. Obviously, that is an extremely important aspect for a team that has had a rash of injuries like the Red Sox have had, right? Being able to put a guy in any position on the diamond allows you more flexibility with a roster that you didn't really want to have, especially at the beginning parts of this season. The other reason analysts and media members like Rob Bradford were saying, hey, Romy Gonzalez is a name to watch is because of what he was doing in AAA before his call-up. In 10 games at the AAA level, Romy had a .333 average, a .386 on base percentage, and a .692 slug, good for a 1.079 OPS, which is good for a 166 WRC plus, about 66% more productive than the average hitter in AAA. Still, when Romy came back from injury, I think the thought most Red Sox fans had was great. We're getting healthier, but what kind of impact does this put on the Red Sox? It raises the floor a little bit, but it doesn't really do much to the ceiling. Well, if we're talking about impact so far for Romy Gonzalez, it's been a good one. In a small sample size, now, I know I say this all the time, it's essentially impossible to make assumptions about a player after 1 week, but in that 1 week, 8 games to be exact, Romy is hitting .316 with a .350 on base percentage and a .316 slug, good for an 89 OPS plus. Still, about 11% below league average production, but at the same time too, that's mainly due to the fact that he's just hitting singles, right? His slug and his average are exactly the same, indicating he's not really getting any extra base hits. What has been important for this Red Sox team is that taking a look at these statistics, again, only 8 games, Romy Gonzalez is getting on base more than once every 3 at-bats. Again, really small sample size, so I'm not going to sit here and say that Romy Gonzalez is going to change everything for Boston, but I am going to talk about why his production, even at what it's at right now, is really important to this team. When we're talking about why Romy Gonzalez could be a spark plug for this team and why his statistics so far have been extremely important to the Boston Red Sox, we have to take a look at what the bottom of this order is doing right now for this team, because right now it's a pretty big problem. Currently, between the 7 through 9 hitters in the Red Sox order combined, they are averaging around a 76 OPS plus. That is 24% below league average production. It's a big reason why over the past few weeks and really the season as a whole, we've seen the Red Sox struggle a bit with getting runners across the plate, because for the most part, the top of the order is still doing their job. Now, obviously, there have been moments throughout the last couple of weeks, especially where you have seen these sort of bigger named hitters, these top of the order hitters, come in big situations and not be able to deliver. But overall, when we're talking about what Romy could do for this team, the Red Sox 1 through 6 hitters have an average OPS plus of 116. That's 16% better than the average hitter in Major League Baseball, and that's also 40% more productive at the plate than what we're seeing from the back half of that order. That is a massive gap in production for the Boston Red Sox. It's essentially like you get through 1 through 6 and the Red Sox production really sort of falls off a cliff a little bit. On top of that too, when you're taking a look at the bottom half of this order, it's not just when they're hitting the baseball they're not producing, they're also striking out a ton. They have a 30% average strikeout rate from the 7 through 9 hitters so far this season, and that's well above league average standards in terms of strikeouts. It's also a big reason why we're seeing the Boston Red Sox towards the top of the league, if not the top of the league, in team strikeouts. And again, I'm not saying number 1 through 6 hitters aren't a big part of that reason. I'm just saying it's more highlighted with these sort of back end replacement level players in your lineup that just simply aren't getting the job done. We're taking a look at Romy Gonzalez's statistics. Even if he can stay right around that 89 OPS plus, still pretty well below league average production, and he could stay around a 25% strikeout rate, which is where he's sort of sitting right now. Again, small sample size, I understand that. What you're looking at is an increase in production from the bottom of the order at about 11% in terms of OPS plus and about 5% less in strikeouts. And that doesn't seem like a ton. That sort of seems like, hey, Corbin, what is that really going to do? Probably won't do a whole lot. It probably won't be the difference between the Red Sox being an 87 win team and an 83 win team, but what it is going to do is allow you to get more production from a part of your order that just simply is not producing well right now. And that, to me, could have a pretty big butterfly effect over the course of the 2024 season because of stuff like we saw last night, right? It's not always going to be your highest paid player or your breakout rookie that's going to be in these big situations, or if they are, they're not always going to deliver in these big situations. We've seen it over the past couple of days. We've seen it for years, for all of time in baseball, that sometimes what you need to rely on are these role players, and that's exactly what we got from Romy Gonzalez last night. Now, I know you probably don't end up in the 12th inning overall had Romy Gonzalez just picked the ball at first base, and obviously that's going to be a conversation for sure, but I think a big part of that too is the fact that he was just simply inexperienced over there at first, more so than, hey, he's just not a very good first baseman. So in my opinion, we're talking about what the impact of a spark plug could be on the Boston Red Sox. Take a look at what Romy Gonzalez did last night, right? He completely galvanized this team. He was the hero, and sometimes that's what it takes to get a team back on track. It takes a guy like Romy Gonzalez, someone coming in here and fighting for their life to stay on this roster, to really sort of rejuvenate what the rest of this team is going through. They see Romy Gonzalez and they say, man, if this guy could do it, I can absolutely do it. It gives them a bit of confidence. It obviously helps put more wins in the win column, and it allows this team to sort of just relax a little bit. Hey, I don't need to be that guy. I can play my game and I can be that player because I know the guys behind me have the opportunity to be that guy as well and can be that guy if need be, right? Rafael Devers doesn't need to hit 60 home runs for this team to be successful. If you start to get even closer to a league average OPS plus from the bottom half of your order. He just needs to play his game, which is getting on base, hitting balls out, and being an absolute menace at the plate. Then you get guys like Romy Gonzalez, say Don Rafaela, who leads the team in RBIs, Vaughn Grissom, who's going to eventually turn around, able to drive these guys in, and suddenly the offense looks completely different. And to me, that's a big reason why I firmly believe Romy Gonzalez is a spark plug for the Boston Red Sox. Now, I may be jumping the gun a little bit. I know that, and I've said that, and I've admitted that, right? 8 games is hard to make any sort of assumptions about what a player is going to be for a team over the course of the rest of the season. But why not? Why can't Romy Gonzalez be the spark plug that we've seen from other types of players like this over the past couple of years that really put the Red Sox in a much better place? There's nothing to really say he can, and so far, that's exactly what he's doing. Now, I don't know what the rest of the season has in store for Romy Gonzalez. I don't know if he's even going to be able to be a major factor for this team after the next couple of weeks. And maybe this is someone who gets replaced at some point during the season. But what I do know right now is that for the Boston Red Sox, this is exactly what they've been looking for. They've been looking for someone to step up to the plate and come up in a big situation. And Romy Gonzalez delivered, and he's been delivering ever since he's come back from injury. So I'm excited about what Romy Gonzalez could be. Again, I'm not expecting him to be an MVP caliber player, or an all-star, a 2018 Brock Holder, something like that. I'm just expecting him to go out there, play his game, increase the production from the bottom of the order, and put this Red Sox offense in a better place, which they needed desperately. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Is Romy Gonzalez the new spark plug for the Boston Red Sox? Am I completely out of line here? Let me know all your thoughts on what Romy Gonzalez has been able to do in a small sample size with the team in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just helps it out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Don't forget, episodes are always available in podcast form if you want to listen on the go. Link is in the description, or you can head over to your favorite app and look up Red Sea Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.